But I think it's just constantly having personal relationships with people, definitely, because people will follow you not because of um the vision that you actually put on the table. Is how well you sell that vision to them, and what they see you do, they will do as well.
True.
So it was more like, okay, we need to be committed. We need to run with this vision, and then you'll see them run with this vision too.
What would you say are like your secrets? Not secrets, because you're about to reveal it to us now. That
Ha.
that helps, in terms of leadership, especially with youth and church. What are some, let's say, secrets or values or key things that help?
I pity people that are after titles in church,
Okay.
because you see them, especially when it's not only for campus, yeah, sorry, even church.
Church,
You see people that,
just
oh,
for
I
the
want to
names.
be just for the title, but like for me, I'm always interested in that. Do you know what it means to be the head of a unit?
Like
Do
responsibility
you know the
wise.
responsibility that, as in, the last thing you want is that during your tenure, people will scatter.
Hmm.
That's just your name already asked.
Hmm.
That's already like something attached to your name. That during this person's tenure, this group scattered, for example. That will not be any of our testimonies,
Yeah.
but just saying it. But what helped me definitely was just the fact that I knew that I couldn't do it.
Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to the first ever episode of Couch Conversations.
Whoop, whoop.
And on our first episode, I have a very, very, very special guest. Our guest today has what I say a grace for pioneering great things. She might not agree,
I
but
don't agree. I actually don't
you
agree.
know what I mean by that. So today we
Okay.
have drum rolls, please. Drum rolls, drum rolls. Mrs. Elizabeth Isi.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you for having
honoring our
me. Thank you
invitation.
for having me.
It's an honor. You're our first guest.
Wow,
And
that's
you're known
big.
for pioneering great things. It means
Ah,
this channel is going to go to places.
amen.
The reason why you're invited to this
Okay.
is because you're, first of all, a very, very integral member of the Youth Alive Fellowship, of the Winners Campus Fellowship International Manchester. So for those,
So it's the Youth Alive Fellowship, which is an arm of Winners Chapel International. But then within the Youth Alive, you have the Campus Fellowship Ministry. So more student and more student focus. Whereas youth as the umbrella body obviously has different kind of departments
under it.
under it. Yeah.
Okay, so how long were you you were the Youth Alive president?
I was,
So
by the
what,
special
from
grace
what
of
year
God.
to what year? How long?
Um do you know what? The thing is, like, when it comes to assignments,
You don't count it.
you don't count it. And the thing is, like, I was doing it even before I was actually nominated as a youth.
Officially.
Yes. So we had a youth president. So when I moved back to Manchester, we had a youth president, but he wasn't as active due
What year
to
was that?
this was probably 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 2019. So he wasn't as active. So it was like, you know, and I was there and I had a passion for youths and I had a passion for obviously things like that. So I was kind of every program I was there. There was no program where you would not see me. And then at some point, it was actually Pastor Kim, it was just like, wait, why have you not made Elizabeth the youth president? And that moment I knew that run, no, no way.
So you tried to run.
Yeah, oh yeah. Ah, no, no, no. I was like,
Only us first to
no,
run.
no, I meet around. No, that's why when I see you guys, I understand. I understand. I don't pull you guys back too much, but
Okay.
I ran initially because it was. I just felt like it was a lot of responsibility. So yeah, so 2019, I was helping out. Coordinating things, and then I think in 2020, I believe this was 2020, 2021. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Um, where Pastor Matthew then officially made me the youth president. It was actually really funny because it wasn't supposed to be me because we were thinking about the new tenor, and then Pastor T was telling me that, oh, we need to. There's this pool of
Pastor
people.
T, that's our youth pastor now.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's our current youth pastor now, current district youth pastor as
Okay.
well. So he was like, oh, brother, I guess going to be the youth coordinator, and this person's going to be the assistant. This person's going to be secretary. And I was like, oh yeah, kudos to them, more grace. And I left that there.
Okay.
And then he came back to me, which was like, oh, Elizabeth, that the names actually went to our resident pastor, and our resident pastor didn't agree. And I was like, oh, why? What happened? Like, they're all right now. And he was like, no, 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 he wanted you. I was like, me? I was like, why me? He was like, because he thinks that you have the energy to actually push this on. I was like, "Obviously, see, let me tell you, I don't. Let's
Okay.
not be confused." And he was just like, no, no, don't worry, Elizabeth. Like, I'll be with you. I was so scared. I was
Wow.
scared because that
I
was my
would not have
first.
thought you were scared. You look
I
like
was I was scared because I was like, this is my first ever responsibility in the church, in that kind of, because I saw it as a major responsibility. Youth are not easy to
it
handle.
was like a big role for
It
you.
was a big role for me. So I was initially scared. And I was like, see, this I can't do. I don't have the capacity. I don't think I know. I don't have what it takes to be a youth president or a coordinator.
Okay.
So but still, she's like, don't worry. Like, I'll every step of the way, I'll guide you. I'll be with you. I was like, see, it's not me doing this. Like, it's two of us, Pastor T. Like, you can't back out. Like, you can't just leave me on
You
this one.
dropped us the seat.
Yeah, I was like, it's two of us now. He was like, yeah, don't worry, this is what I'll be with you. And then obviously he was like now elected as our youth pastor as well. So it was okay. So and then Brother Emmanuel was then elected as the campus fellowship coordinator. So thank God, Brother Emmanuel
The
is
Winners
there.
Campus Fellowship coordinator.
Yes.
So
So
for the Winners Campus Fellowship
yeah.
Winners Campus Fellowship, was this like the first time it was actually happening in Manchester?
Yes. Yes.
So
So we had one in the past, but it wasn't really active. It was like one of those on
one
off
of
things.
things.
So this is actually the first time in the history of Manchester that we've actually had one that was stable,
Yeah.
and actually one that was growing, and one that was known, and one that was kind of working and
So that
buzzing.
was
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah. 2020, 2021 at that time. Yeah.
Okay, so it was you and Mr. Manuel that like
Yes.
did it. So two of you have grace for pioneering great things.
Ah.
Because that's
Amen.
when I came in
Okay.
under your tenure now.
Yes.
Under
It
your
was.
tenure.
It was
And
actually.
you guys are clearly doing a good job when I
It
came in.
didn't seem like initially. It
And
didn't seem
also
like
from the outside, it's us that can tell that these
yeah.
people know what they are doing. All these things
Yeah.
you're saying, I was like,
All these things
it
seem
doesn't seem like you guys look
no
like you have
like
it.
the thing is like there was no single foundation laid for us. So
So you had to set up
everything that
structures.
we see now was the structure that we kind of came up with. Where we said that okay, this is how we think it should be,
Okay.
and we kind of put structures in place because we came into the youth life fellowship. There was no structure. There was nothing. People were just kind of winging it. So we were just like, no, there needs to be a structure. So we put a structure in place, and it's working by
Oh
God's
wow.
grace.
Okay. So let's get to know you. Who is Mrs. Elizabeth? Who is she? What was it like growing up for you? What was it like growing up?
Um,
Are you the first child?
no, I'm not.
Oh,
No,
okay.
like my mom used to say, I'm number three out of four.
Out of four.
Yeah, so I have an older sister, older brother, and then a younger sister.
Older
So
sister, older brother. Okay.
yeah, so we're four in total. Three girls, one boy. So I grew up in Germany, born in Germany.
Oh wow. Didn't
Um,
know
really, yeah, born in Germany, grew up in Germany. And then obviously lived my whole life there. I went to school and everything, and then in 2010, in 2007, my dad moved to Manchester
that. Okay.
because of greener pastures, and Germany wasn't as especially with the situation in Germany
Yeah.
then, it wasn't as lucrative. So he moved to Manchester because he got a job here, and then my sister eventually moved in 2008. I think it was 2007, the same year I think. And I was in high school then. I never wanted to move. No, never wanted
You
to
had
leave. Just
friends
imagine
and
like
everything.
German is your first language. You didn't English self was as in I don't even know when you hear my English then
Are you serious? It doesn't even sound like
yeah,
it now.
yeah, we
Doesn't
thank
sound
God.
like.
We thank God. Like it's been
So
a
what
rocky
year
road.
did you officially come here?
So I moved in 2010.
Okay.
So 14 years ago. So 14 years ago I moved, and it was a very, for me as a 16-year-old girl, it was a traumatic journey basically, because literally my parents were just like, do you know what? Money was plenty then. So they literally just said, okay, we're booking you a coach, pack your bags. You're laughing. That was actually the money was plenty. They were literally like, okay, we're booking you a coach. My mom literally drives me to the coach station in Germany, which is just like a bus stop. And then literally put myself on a coach and was like, mind you, I've never been to UK at this point. I don't know road to UK
Yeah.
self. Literally put me in a coach, said that just don't get off. When you get to the last bus stop,
When you
we
get
should
off.
be in London. Get off. When you get there, ask somebody that you're going to
Oh, it
Manchester.
was just you.
It was just me.
And was anybody, so someone was supposed to pick you up?
No.
Oh, wow.
When I got to London Victoria, I asked because I didn't realize that the departure was on the other side of the road. So she was just like, when you get there, just ask people and they will direct you.
Mm.
So I just had to just imagine me with my two suitcases, my keyboard then, and in the middle of London. Oh God, I don't know where I am. And my coach was late, so I was like, I had 10 minutes to get to my
Mm-hmm.
departure. So I was just looking for the coach. Eventually found, when he directed me, eventually found my way, and yeah. got on the coach, and then landed in Manchester around 1:30 that day. I will never forget.
1:30 p.m.
Yeah, it was on the 25th of August 2010
Wow.
at 1:30. Yeah, I landed
So
in
when your new
Manchester.
life started.
Yes, for the first years I was crying. I
You're
didn't like.
crying.
Yeah, just imagine you
Missing your
being like,
friends.
yeah, but it's just like it's a culture difference.
Okay.
Just imagine you living in a country your whole life and then being ripped out of that as a small girl, 16-year-old girl, and then being put in a country where you don't even understand the
I
language.
can't imagine it. You came in like into Manchester, so was it straight into college? Or you had to finish like high school in Manchester? Or
No,
did
so
you
I
do
finished
that?
high school in Germany. So I
Mm-hmm.
finished high school in Germany, and then when I entered Manchester, I had to repeat my GCSEs because they said that the certification is not the same.
Different. Okay.
It's different. So I had to repeat a year. So I didn't get into college straight away. I had to repeat my A levels, and then I managed to get into college,
So what college did you get into?
Manchester College.
Okay.
So into the Manchester College, the one close to Whitney now, it's no longer there now, and then the one in town just behind National Express. Did my BTech level 3 medical science then. But yeah, did that for 2 years and then off to uni.
Interesting.
But yeah, and then
Very,
off
she
to
writes
uni.
a book. I feel like if
I should
everybody
write a
wrote a
book.
book on their
Oh
story,
my
it
god,
would sell. I never imagined. Really,
really?
never.
Yeah.
Germany.
A
I've
lot of
never thought.
people like, oh, your accent, and I was like,
Yeah,
see, I
your
was
accent.
16, like and then I think for me, I saw my German accent as a hindrance. I saw it as a bad thing then because I was like, I'm in this because in Germany, like I fitted in,
Yeah, but
and
when you
I'm
came
now
here,
here. I didn't fit in.
was it obvious?
It was
It was
obvious,
very
like
obvious, I can
my
imagine.
German
But
accent.
now it's not so obvious.
No, now it's not
Now
so
it's not
obvious.
so
No, no,
obvious,
no.
yeah.
But like my German accent was so strong then because that was my first language. And when I first moved in college, it was just it was not nice, and
Trying to learn English
yeah, trying to learn English and like
and
trying to communicate with
and
people,
study.
study as
So in
well,
Germany, the studies, school,
everything.
everything was
Yeah, just imagine like me writing essays, writing books in German, and I come to this country, I can't even write common paragraphs. I cannot write.
wow. I guess a
So,
lot can happen in 10 years
oh
because I
yeah,
would not have imagined that.
yeah, yeah.
So did you have to do like special English classes or something?
I yeah. For my first year, I attended like a special. I don't know. I can't remember what the class is called, but it was in college as well. It was just like a special English class I had to attend, just to learn the basics again.
Okay. How long
Um,
was that for?
for a year.
Okay.
I did that for a year, and then I did my GCSEs in English, and then never did A levels in here in English. So yeah,
Okay. Now that
yeah,
we've gotten to know you,
yeah.
this
That's
is
about
this is
me.
very interesting. I should do more of this. Let me get to know people.
A lot of people wouldn't have
It's
guessed.
actually
Like,
very interesting.
yeah, people have history. Like, people have their stories,
It's
and
very interesting.
when they
We
open up,
human beings are
yeah,
actually very interesting people.
yeah.
And they were just one corner thinking, wow, living a boring life.
You
Nobody's
would not know, like,
interested.
cause naturally you wouldn't talk about things like this unless you're
Yeah,
being asked.
reflection. And funny enough,
Yeah.
people are very open to tell their stories.
Oh yeah,
You would
people
think
are.
they're, hiding it or they don't
Oh
trust
no.
people about it.
Yeah, but I think sometimes we as human beings, we're not patient enough to ask the question.
Yeah.
Not everybody's patient enough to ask. Sometimes like, people have great stories or even advice or to give people, but
Maybe there's no
when
platform,
there's no
no opportunity,
platform,
no
no
platform.
opportunity, and sometimes people don't have the patience to listen.
Everyone wants to talk about themselves.
Yeah,
I think that's
that's the
it.
thing. Like, everyone wants to talk, and I don't like talking about myself. That's just I
It's
just don't
good
like
I'm
it.
here to ask.
Yeah, it's just very strange.
Oh, good. Okay. So
Hmm.
why we're here? The
Hmm.
second reason we're here. Now that we
Okay.
know you.
Okay.
Now it now puts a lot of things into perspective. Why you're
Okay.
so you're very much like our let me say my or our Yaf mommy. Do you get?
Oh my god.
Yes now.
People have been calling me this
Oh
Mama
you see?
Mama
Yes now.
Yap. What is it? I'm
Yes,
not Mama Yap. I
yes now
beg
that's
you.
because you carry us so well. I remember when obviously it was Winners Campus Fellowship that
Yeah.
invited me. And then the people that invited me, very, very wonderful people. I
Yeah.
don't think you can't say no to those Uncle Ima, Pastor T,
Oh, was he there as
yeah,
well?
yep. So Pastor T, I met Pastor T. I think the first week of
Right.
the
Okay.
student welcome week when you come in.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right. It was Freshers Week.
Freshers week.
Right.
That's where I was
Right.
invited.
Okay.
That's when I met Nkrumah and I met Pastor T.
Hmm.
I think that's when I met Gilbert. I think Gilbert was the first person I met. He was one that was sharing
Really?
tracks. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was
I
the
wasn't
first.
there.
Yeah,
That particular
that was
one.
the
I
first person
wasn't.
I
Yeah.
met. And then throughout the week, I just kept seeing you guys. And then I think it was just the aura, the friendliness, and just felt like family.
Yeah.
And then I now met
Yeah.
you. And then I heard things about you
Oh
too.
my god. I hope
Good
things.
things, good things.
Thank
Yeah.
God
So I was
though.
like, okay. So like, I don't know. I think outside of the fact that you had like a position in YAF, it just
Yeah.
kind of comes naturally to you
Oh
to
yeah.
take care of those. Am I right?
Yeah, I
I
think
think
definitely. I
that's
don't
how I
like.
saw it.
I think one of the things is like growing up. I didn't have. I wouldn't say I had an easy life.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for. I was not privileged. Like we, I wasn't. I came from a normal family, but I saw my mom struggle at
Yeah,
some point, and my prayer was always like, I don't like to see people
people
struggle.
struggle.
Yeah, because I know how it feels. So I wish everyone had what they needed to have, but it's not possible. But like if I can give you £5, if that's what you need, I'll give you that £5.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like it's not something I'll not be thinking about. Oh, I gave Jessica £5. She needs to give me something back. No,
Wow.
I just like I've given it to you, and I'm content. I'm pleased with. I'm
So
happy
we're not
with that.
wrong to call you, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that title. It's a heavy
So
title.
no, we're not wrong. And I think it makes sense. I think a lot of times when the things that people do
Hmm.
or why they do it, a lot of times stems from like their background and
Oh yeah,
growing up.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
it just kind of makes sense when we hear their stories.
Oh
So
yeah.
it you see, things are now
Yeah.
putting together
Put
and
one or two
together
together.
and then it now makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
that's why.
People.
And then
People. I don't think people would have known that about me, but it's like sometimes I think sometimes people want to be a particular person, but it doesn't. Some of these things don't come natural. You have to have that sort of
yeah,
thing
more like
inside of you.
it's rooted. You don't just
Yeah.
I think some people can try to become and then,
Yeah.
with effort they can now if you want
Yeah.
to be like a nicer person, you feel like you're not nice.
Yeah.
You can now
But
start.
one day we still come
Oh
out. One day
now
somebody will annoy you. One day somebody will
with the
like
help of the Holy
that
Spirit.
way you will not talk something that they're like, Sister
Okay, let
Jessica,
me
Sister
add with the
Elizabeth.
help of the Holy Spirit,
Thank you very much.
change is possible.
Oh, change is possible. It's always possible.
Okay,
Yes.
so I remember at the YAF ESCO's handover, because now we are like the
Oh,
I'm one of the God is
yeah.
helping me current YAF ESCOs.
Doing very well.
Ah, yeah, just saying it.
No, honestly, because I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy.
God
You're
is
doing very
helping
well.
us. So I
Yeah.
take it one day at a time. But I remember
Hmm.
at the handover,
Yeah.
you you had like a short speech time. And I remember you saying, yes, now, because we were like, oh, say something about, because you're handing over now, you have to.
Yeah.
I remember you saying, YAF is very dear to you.
Yes, it is.
Like, it's very special. And I could see the passion in your voice. It's not
I
like
was
you were
very
just,
emotional.
yeah, you're very emotional about it. Like, see the
Yeah.
eyes. I was like, why is, like, it's almost as though if somebody should try YAF, you can use your,
I know I
you
can.
can fight
Like
for
honestly,
YAF.
I can. That's why.
YAF so dear to you. Why are you so passionate about it? Where will you start from?
Where will I start from? I don't know, but like when you were saying like, oh, that the handover day,
Yes.
like because that day, to be honest, it wasn't the handover happened not because it was time for us to hand over, but it happened because it was time for me to hand over. So I was like, I need to hand over. Like I need to hand over. But Steve was
Okay.
like, no, don't hand over now. I was like,
Was a
no.
personal decision.
Personal decision, yes. I was like, I need to hand over. And I remember Brother Emmanuel then saying that, oh, if you leave, I leave too. And I was
Ah.
like, waiting because I'm here. This individual is like, don't. He was like, no, no, if you leave, I leave too. And so that's how both of us then ended up like leaving.
It had to be like a whole handover
Yeah, it
ceremony.
was in a whole handover because for me it was so precious because like I remember when Pastor Matthew, when we first got inaugurated, like when we first started this thing, Pastor Matthew said something to us and he was like to me and Brother Man, he was like, oh, like we know that YAF never really existed like that in Manchester. That we had it
Before
before,
you.
but it wasn't as strong as he wanted it to be now.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like,
There wasn't
oh,
a lot going on.
there wasn't a lot going on. It wasn't like stable. You hear about youth life, but you don't really wear the youth kind of. So it was just like, oh, this year he wants us to run with an Nehemiah team. He wants us to rebuild. And I carried that thing on my head like we need to rebuild YAF. It was like an assignment for me. So I just like I cannot fail in this. Even though it's not me that is going to rebuild it by
Yeah, it's God.
myself, but I just said that it cannot feel in my hands, kind of. So everything that we did, so many sacrifices went into YAF. Sometimes when people will be like, "Oh, is it not just YAF?" And some people have sacrificed time, family time, money,
Yes.
resource to make things work.
Yeah.
And not everything you can kind of say out to tell
Mm-hmm.
people, "Oh, this is what I've done." So it was quite emotional because when I left that day, I was just like,
The family.
it was like,
The
is this the
baby.
end? No, it was YAF was literally my baby,
Yes.
because I've never seen it as strong, and especially the people that I've worked with. I was like, these people are so committed, and they were so like Gilbert, you were there as well, and Philip and all them. I was like, why are these people seeing in like for Emmanuel and myself that they're so
Committed to.
committed to even like helping us in this assignment? Like, why are they so committed? And there was just one thing that unified all of us. It was just our passion for God, and it was just so touching. So when I had to hand over, my fear was that as soon as I hand over, that things will not crumble,
Yeah.
but things will. My fear was like that whoever's going to take over is not going to continue the same way I would want it to continue. And I had to live with that because I was like, my tenure cannot be the same as someone else's tenure. You have your own vision,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But I was just like, because one of the prayers I prayed that day, I will not forget. I said that it will not crumble in your hands
Amen.
because it didn't crumble in our hands. It will not crumble in your own hands. I was like, please, so people were so committed, unified, and it was just very emotional because I felt like I had a family.
Yeah.
I felt like Yaf made me because, like I told you before, from like when I first moved, I was 16 when I moved. I went straight to the big church. I never went to teens church because I was just like, I need to go up to the big church. I want to see what's happening.
Yeah.
And back then, during Pastor Muller's time as well, when he was like heading Yaf, and I was always part of the prayer group, I always wanted to be amongst them because I found it so interesting and fascinating. Like, well, how can a group of young people like be so
Like
in
into the
love
things
in
of God.
into yeah, so I find it fascinating, so I always wanted to be part of it, so it's always been part of me since I've moved to the UK, so something that kind of held me together
Okay.
basically, so it was very special to me.
During your time with these people that you're serving with that were very
Yeah,
committed to the cause, what were like some of the memorable moments? So it could be like an outing or a disagreement or just a moment, a time of prayer and then you saw results. What's like some of the key moments, memorable moments from your time?
memorable moments. I think one of the memorable ones from like the leadership perspective
Mm-hmm.
was there was a one particular evening. um we because Pastor T is like he pushes us to do better every single time, and I love that about him. But sometimes it can just get a bit overwhelming. But
Lots of
that,
pressure.
yeah, it's a lot of pressure to perform. And that we had a weekly meeting every Tuesday at 9 p.m. And that meeting, he ended up in like there's some things we were supposed to do we didn't do. And Pastor T was like literally came hard on us, like, why you guys not doing this thing? Which I've had this plan since, and like at that meeting, I just felt like I failed in the assignment that was given to me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and but Emmanuel was just like, literally, that mean I could not talk again. Because I was just so emotional, like, I should have done this
Yeah,
thing,
done
Elizabeth.
better.
Yeah, but Emmanuel literally just took over the meeting and was like literally defending me in front of Pastor T, and I was like, whatever, I know send you. But it was literally like everything. It's not like Pastor T was just trying to obviously push us to do better,
Yeah,
but every single thing that he said, but Emmanuel would have like not an excuse, but we would have
an
something to defend. Yeah,
explanation.
but she didn't do it because of this. She didn't do it because of this. So this was this. She was doing. It was just like protecting me in that aspect, and it was very precious to me because I just thought, oh, for you to do that,
Okay.
you didn't have to. I didn't ask you to do it, but you could see the kind of state that I was in.
Yeah.
But you just felt the need to protect me in that kind of aspect, and we kind of do that to each other as well.
Yeah, yeah. And that's that.
Yeah, and in that particular evening, me, well, Emmanuel, Dami, and Peace, we were on the court like probably 2 a.m. that night, putting this plan together so we could present it the next day. And
Wow.
we're just like, we have to. This thing must work. we have to put this thing together because we don't know we don't want to go through the same meeting and experience
Yeah.
we had. So we literally stayed up that night to like 2 a.m.
Wow.
Put this meeting.
Sounded
It
like a
put this.
bonding.
It
It was work, but it was
was
also
work, but the thing is, like, it wasn't only work. We even prayed that night because that night we're just like, see, there's some certain things we had seen in Yah that we didn't like. We're just like, okay, this person's having issues. This person's having issues. This thing is coming up. This thing is coming up. We're just like, we don't like seeing this. So that night, I remember as well. We're just praying for Yah.
mm-hmm.
We're just praying like there was no schedule or anything. We were just praying for Yah, praying for students that were struggling financially. We were praying for people that all the Jackpot syndrome that started them. We're
Yeah.
praying for that. Praying for so many people that needed help in their career. We're praying for so many things at night. So it was just a unity that just touched me.
Family that prays together, stays
Stays
together.
together.
What were like some challenges that you faced,
Huh.
especially just starting out?
People.
I'm sure you people
People.
like the youths. We
Ah,
the youths.
you the youth.
We youths
Ah.
and our problem.
No, but when somebody just looks you in the face and point blank disrespects you, there's nothing you
Yeah.
can do about it. And there's this particular individual, like this particular individual would literally disrespect me, like, and did not only disrespect me because if you disrespect any of my youths, because I always say that they're my youths, like, because I took it so personal. If I hear, for example, that somebody disrespected you, said something to you, I'll take it like you said something to me, and I will literally attack you, like, why would you say that to Jessica? Kind of. and it happened.
So was this person like an ESCO or a
It was
youth, an
executive.
executive, a youth
Yes,
executive?
yes, it was
Okay.
between executives.
Okay.
So it was between executives. There was a bit of
Fiction.
friction going on, and the person that received the offense messaged me with the text that what the person said to them. Very disrespectful. As in, I cannot even repeat it. How disrespectful it was.
Okay.
You know. So I immediately didn't even waste time. I messaged the person like, how far? I didn't even like. I
Going
won't attack.
slowly.
No, but I won't attack you. But I'll just be like, oh, how are you? How's your day? Everything going well. We thank
Mhm.
God. By the way, I heard that this thing. How
Get
far?
into the matter
Like,
and let's
what's
address
going
it.
on? And the person was like defending what they're saying, defending the reason. But then I had to be calm because if you were reacted in the same way I was charged,
Yeah.
I would have said something that would have probably taken that person out of
Mm-hmm.
completely. But I just had to listen to the person, see that okay, there's some sort of sense behind what this person said. There was not completely no sense. There's no sense completely. But I still had
But
to
you had to ask
I
just to
had
be
to
sure.
ask and I had to pretend as if I'm on their side as well. Because the last thing you people want as a equal, you can't be on anybody's side. You have to be on everybody's side,
Mm-hmm.
but correct them at the same time.
Yeah.
So I just had to pronounce it. I understand what you're saying. This is, however, what you said is so disrespectful. You don't say that to any woman. Like, yeah, but she. I was like, and the person I went to go and report me to Pastor T. I
Can
was
you
like,
imagine? This person was still defending their bad behavior and
yeah,
didn't see the need to apologize.
reported me to Pastor T, and it was bad because Pastor T, I understand the position he's in as a youth pastor, youth coordinator. In the leadership position, you can't be. You have to be neutral.
Yeah. On pick sides.
So I'm 100% sure Pastor T was like, "Oh yeah, definitely what he did was wrong," but he couldn't like openly say it, you know. And for me, it just felt like this person was not dealt with. Like I'm now the one that's
How?
kind of being
Yeah.
made fun of because of how I reacted, kind of. So it was just very, it's a memorable moment
It's a
as well.
memorable moment.
For people, like you need them to do something, or they have an assignment, you need them to do something, they're not doing it. You ask them why?
There's no
No
reason.
reason.
Okay.
Respect everyone is busy, but for me, like I would take time off work just to be at programs. If a program is on Thursday, I'll make sure I take Thursday off. All my holidays at work was not for me traveling, it was for
Okay.
programs. I'm always there, kind of thing. But yeah, people.
In like this whole journey and everything, who's like one person that really helped you tremendously, like in terms of, so it might not be someone from YAF or just the whole leadership thing, getting
Hmm.
into it. Who's one person that's helped you, maybe the person's wisdom or knowledge that just had a great impact on you? It could be like a popular person, it could be a book, it
Yeah,
could be someone like a family,
yeah.
or like who's that one or two people, maybe you have more than one person.
I have to.
Okay.
First person would definitely 100%, 110% be Varsity.
Okay.
Like, honestly. Because I remember from when I took the YAF position, because I didn't want to take it. And I was like, it's too much responsibility. I just didn't feel like I was worth that kind of
Yeah.
responsibility. I didn't feel like, who am I?
Who are you?
Yeah. And from the minute literally I accepted, like he literally backed us up every week. He'll be praying with us, he'll be advising us on things. He'll be anything we want to do, 110% support. He will always be there with us. Every meeting he'll be there. Even if it's not in like the main executive meeting, our leadership meeting, he'll always be there praying with us, advising us. We'll be doing setting together. He wasn't just interested in YAF, he was interested in
In
us.
your personal well-being, yeah.
Yeah,
He still does that
yeah,
now
he
too,
still does
but
that a lot. And then the second person will be definitely be Brother Manuel, like
okay.
100, Brother Manuel, 100%, like 100%. Even though we were both like had different responsibilities, I was looking after YAF in whole, which includes campus fellowship. But obviously, he was just concentrating on campus fellowship. So that's why you saw me in campus fellowship quite a few times as
Yeah.
well. But he was more like,
Yeah,
that
it
was
was,
his.
yeah.
I was
That was his
overseeing,
thing because it was him
yeah.
we mostly
But I
saw.
was overseeing everything, so I had to be in campus fellowship just to make sure everything is going
Yeah.
as it's supposed to go. But like, even if there were times where for example, I didn't have the strength or I didn't have like the capacity to, for example, anchor a YAF program, but a man will step in. Now I
Then he
know
will
that
leave his campus fellowship to
to step,
still step
and he
in.
will now find somebody in campus fellowship to run campus fellowship,
Yeah.
and then come to YAF and step into YAF. So
Okay.
that sort of impact was,
So now that you have like your team now, that you
yeah,
guys understand each other. So when you now started having other people come on board, like me,
Mm,
and I don't know, some of us now,
mm,
how was it like? Did things change? Obviously, things will change because they are new people. It's
mm-hmm.
like I've come to scatter your setup,
No, no, no.
but
No, no, no.
not scatter, but it's like
Yeah.
different people. So, but how was it?
I think it's not like scattering our setup, but it's difficult because when you have an established team, but new people are coming in, it's quite difficult to make them see the vision.
Yeah. So how do you communicate the vision? I guess that's another
See,
part
in
two question.
see, we asked ourselves this question as well because there was one day we had a meeting and we had all these new people that came in, especially for campus worship, and then we noticed something that people are not running. Because I remember there was a time where they needed to look for a president, say campus worship president, or
Mm-hmm.
they called society president or something like that. I can't remember in uni. And it was for a man for a long time. And then when he needed to, because his tenure finished, he needed to hand over to some other students to be the head of the campus worship,
Campus worship.
the union, wherever it was. And there was nobody. And I was just like, how can that be nobody? And he was like, even the people that he was looking for, I told them, oh, you're going to be, they all ran. And I was like, so, which is like, so how do we actually make these people understand like where we're coming from? And it was difficult with campus worship because some of the students there, they're not really part of members of our church. They
Okay.
don't understand the
Like
whole
the whole
dynamics
vision
and
and
vision. But I think it's just constantly having personal relationships with people, definitely, because people will follow you not because of um the vision that you actually put on the table. Is how well you sell that vision to
hmm,
them, and what they see you do, they will do as well.
true.
So it was more like, okay, we need to be committed. We need to run with this vision, and then you'll see them run with this vision too.
What would you say are like your secrets? Not secrets, because you're about to reveal it to us now. That
Ah,
that helps, in terms of leadership, especially with youth and church. What are some, let's say, secrets or values or key things that help or that helped you?
I think what has helped me,
Because it's not an easy thing. It's a
it's
big
not
thing.
easy.
So how?
Let me tell you something. The thing is like when people, okay, from outside. When people, I pity people that are after titles in church,
Okay.
because you see them, especially when they're not only for campus, yeah, sorry, even church,
Church.
you see people that,
Just
oh,
for
I
the
want to
names.
be just for the title, but like for me, I'm always interested in that. Do you know what it means to be the head of a unit?
Like
Do
responsibility
you know the
wise.
responsibility that, as in, the last thing you want is that during your tenure, people will scatter.
Hmm.
That's just your name already asked.
Hmm.
That's already like something attached to your name. That during this person's tenure, this group scattered. For example, that would not be any of our testimonies,
Yeah.
but just saying it. But what helped me definitely was just the fact that I knew that I couldn't do it.